we're going to do eggplant parmigiana. It's a pretty simple dish, but a lot of people have issues with crumbing procedure. So flour, again I use gluten-free. So you just flour all the eggplant, it's already been pre-sliced. Just be careful when you're cutting, you don't cut yourself. Flour over these, don't have to be too particular. We're going to use the flour left over to make what they call whitewash. So we don't use egg because if someone's allergic to egg, then we have an issue. I don't use milk either because water's way cheaper and milk does nothing for it. So I'll just get a bit more flour. So a little bit more gluten-free flour. Should do. Add a bit of water, some cold water to it. And you're basically making a thin batter. So now when you crumb these, you can put them on top of each other, but put paper between because they tend to stick to each other when you're using gluten-free. So gluten-free is a bit different to regular. So there we go, there's the whitewash made. So we just put the eggplant in there, into the crumbs, and just pop it on a plate. Next one, you get the picture. So I'm using this gluten-free crumb, it's like panko, and also this one because it's a fine crumb. I mix them together, but you don't need to use gluten-free, you can use regular breadcrumbs. Okay, we'll come back later on and we'll show you the rest of it. Okay, now we're going to make the Parma sauce. So we've got some chopped up celery. This is my favourite sauce, but you might have your own recipe. Celery bits, reasonably small. About one stick, about half a green capsicum, or red, doesn't matter. About half an onion chopped up, a couple of cloves of garlic. And we use tin tomatoes, chopped, Italian herbs, and tomato paste. Use a good tomato paste because it makes a difference. This is Legos. Alright, so garlic in, onion in, capsicum, celery, everything in. And you just fry that up a bit. So what we're going to do is just saute this until it's soft. So it will take a little while. So what I'll do is I'll just spin it around a bit. And I'm going to whack a lid on it. Because it'll cook a bit quicker if we put the lid on. But just keep an eye on it. Turn the heat up. Just keep an eye on it. Every now and then just give it a stir. Okay, so that's been cooking off a little, that's ready. Let's take seasoning. Some pepper, which I ground up with black pepper. Actually I use a little bit of Italian herbs. And here's where you would add wine. So you put some wine in, just a little, to deglaze. Don't use a shit wine. Shit wine means a shit sauce. So always use a nice wine. You can always drink the rest while you're having dinner. But I don't drink, so we're not putting wine in. A little bit of salt. If the kids were coming over for dinner, and they're allowed to, then I'd open a bottle of wine. They just finish it. And a little bit of paste. Probably half of one of these. I'll put the whole lot in. Tastes better. Up. We'll put it on a low heat and just let it cook. Keep an eye on it. You need to add water to that. You don't want it to catch. So you just keep an eye on it. So it's a nice consistency. Okay, we'll come back later on. Ready? Okay, so now the sauce is cooking. It's been on for a little while now. I've heated up the pan with oil, and I use grapeseed oil, like I tell everyone. Don't use olive oil, it smokes too much. Eggplant goes in, pan's hot. I've already turned the oven on, so that'll be ready to go. And we'll cook all these up. Now, don't worry if you have too much, because you can always eat it tomorrow. And with the sauce, whatever's left over, we freeze it. And when we have chicken parmas, we use the same sauce, or pasta, or whatever. Okay, when they're cooked, we'll get back to and show you the next step. So what we do is we just portion them up like this. A little bit of salt on them. Little sauce. Just been cooking for a while. Spoon the sauce over like that. Whatever's left is a great late night snack. And whatever sauce is left, you can always freeze, but we don't have much left here, so I'll just use it all. That was just over a can of tomatoes too. Alright, so that's done with cheese. Some shredded cheese on top. Some people prefer mozzarella, I don't. It's got no taste. It's up to the individual. Now they look like real parmas. Now if your kids don't like eggplant, tell them it's chicken. They wouldn't know anyway. Into the oven, 10 or 15 minutes, and it's done. About 200 degrees, and we're off and running. Okay, so they're ready. They've come out the oven. So we just lift them up, whack them on the plate, and they just look like a schnitzel. Beautiful. A little bit of parsley from out the garden. There we go, bang. And there it is. Gourmet meal. Simple. Enjoy.